When Rorn failed to show at the evening feast, Atticus assumed he was still training. From his sleeping quarters, Atticus traded his spear for his short sword and went to find Rorn. His boots scuffed the ebony steps spiraling up the Tower of Tribulation's 20 stories. He had made the stair run twice a day for as long as he could walk. This was the third time today. Cresting the top, he adjusted the dark green bandana, keeping his long red hair from his eyes. Across the battlement, he spotted Rorn, head down, hands clasped in prayer. A similar green bandana circled Rorn's head. His black hair hung to his waist. Forgive me, God. Rorn had the most beloved soul of the Order. Why would he need to ask for repentance? Had he disappointed one of the elders? Rorn palmed the parapet, glancing across the vast desert. An acrid scent hung in the air. Twilight brushed over the compound, and darkened sands flowed endlessly around the settlement. A buzzard circled overhead, while an ornery jackass fussed below in the barnyard. You missed the last feast, brother. Rorn folded his arms over the stone wall. I am not hungry. Are you ill? Atticus clapped Rorn on the back. Elder Kai made a trip to Red Rock Bluff and saw Old Lady Eben again. When he got back, he was drunk as a crow in the agave garden. I say we sneak into his room and steal us a bottle. Are you with me? That rancid stuff is akin to iguana bile left in the desert sun. Awful concoction. Atticus rested his rump on the parapet. He leaned back on his hands. When the sacred inauguration is over, I intend to fetch a bottle, with or without you. You best not tempt the brandy. As a paladin knight, you must always remain alert. This is especially true for you. Relax, my brother. A little brandy does little harm. Besides, after all our effort, we deserve to live like rogues for a night. We are paladins, not reckless scoundrels. Rosemary finished seaming that peach dress she's been working on. It fits quite nicely, if I may say so. You must take your training more seriously. You failed greatly today at your Letinyasa technique. That technique is more of a folk dance than a tactical maneuver. I don't see its practicality in the throes of battle. Rorn spun to face him, a strange ornamental dagger in his hand. Fragmented sunlight glinted off its blade. He glared at Atticus, then lifted the dagger over his head and stared skyward. Atticus grimaced. Badheads, brother, you are mad. With his free hand, Rorn drew his sword. I bring a grave message that you must heed. Atticus stepped backwards. We have trained enough for today. The feast hall will close soon. You need to eat. Rorn scowled. He charged. blazing ghosts, what foolishness plagues you? I know you possess more. You are but one of the great chosen who can defeat the beast. You must all be prepared for the reckoning. Rorn uttered an incantation. His blade flashed blue, and a coil of electricity surged through Atticus's sword. Groveling ghouls, you hurt me. So I did. Why? Because I am not who you think I am. Rorn sheathed his sword and set the strange dagger on the wall. Perhaps it's only obvious to me, and I need to confide in you. Confide what? You are as complacent as the fat bullfrog floating on a sea of gnats. Unless you train in earnest, your speed will slow, your agility will succumb to clumsiness, and your wit will dull with inadequacy. The sea of gnats will consume the plump frog. I don't understand where any of this is coming from. Rorn stepped toward the tower's ledge. The last rays of sunlight shone upon him. Despite your ineptness, I envy you. You will graduate and go on to great and honorable feats. They will send you somewhere exotic, where you will encounter new people of friend and foe. There you will face the grand beast, who is far greater than the villains we imagined as children. I will not be alone in this slaying. We will draw swords against the beast together. Atticus cupped a hand over his eyes, shading his vision from the descending sunlight. The buzzard that had been circling the tower had descended closer. Rorn leaned over the edge. I would have preferred you not sought me here this evening. Atticus looked over the ledge. The ground loomed 200 feet below. He gave Rorn a sidelong glance. Why? The shrieking buzzard's black feathers were cast in twilight's glow. Ortha's vision of my future is not what it seems. The ancient mage is a fool. I am not destined as one of the twins you and the Order believe me to be. There is yet another path I must pursue. You speak madness. I would have been happier as a healer or a teacher, not a fighter. Rorn, a teacher? Atticus would have laughed if he wasn't so distraught. You're a twin warrior. It is prophesized. You have believed this to be so since you were of sword-wielding age. What has brought this affliction of melancholy into your soul? Rorn sat upon the wall. His thighs straddled on either side. The dagger lay between his legs. I now see that which has been blind to me until recently. Atticus's gut twisted while he tried to make sense of Rorn's rantings. For the first time, he felt an overwhelming sense of loneliness. Perhaps it was because many were training in the tower or at the rec hall for the last meal of the day. Or perhaps because Rorn, his brother in arms since childhood, was, at the least, entrapped in a shroud of sorrow and, at the worst, plagued by lunacy. Atticus pushed from the wall and took a defensive stance, brandishing his sword. Battle with me. I will prove I am prepared. You have nothing to prove, at least not to me. Atticus lowered his sword. What must I do or say to save you from this state of sorrow? I will do my part to save all from the coming beast, and I ask you, do the same. Take not your duty as a twin, nor your role as a paladin warrior lightly. You need not ask. I am loyal to the Order. I will offer my life for... Rorn held up a hand, silencing Atticus. I have knowledge of the future. Of your future. And it is not as their puppet. They make mistakes. Do not offer your life to the whims of the Order, no matter the propaganda they preach. His voice lowered. Eyes darkened. Promise me. Atticus had sworn his allegiance to the Order long ago, and he thought Rorn had done the same. Was his twin a traitor? Promise me. My loyalty isn't to myself or to you. My sword belongs to the Order of Abel, and will do so until I take my final breath. I'm sorry, but I must follow my heart, and I must follow mine. Rorn tossed his other leg over the wall and disappeared. Atticus stared unblinking at the spot where his blood brother had sat. I find no humor in this magic. What kind of trickery is this? The mysterious dagger shimmered on the tower's ebony ledge. Atticus reached for it, but it suddenly vanished like a wind-blown mist. He glanced around the top of the tower. Elder Kai? Is this a sorcerer's folly? A test? With careful steps, he neared the ledge and glanced over. Rorn lay face down in the sand far below. Atticus's body shuddered. His chest ground against the stone. His head spun. Vertigo gripped him. The world slipped sideways, then upward, and the buzzard's funereal shrills pierced his soul. A hand latched onto the back of his shoulder and tugged. Damnation, Atticus, come away! Tears blurred his vision. Atticus stumbled from the ledge, collapsing into the arms of his teacher and trainer, Elder Kai. He gripped the Elder's black robe. It's Rorn. Summon Healer Merrick. It's too late, my son. It's too late. He's in Destiny's hands.